What happens when AI can create a video of anyone doing anything, and you can't tell it's fake? That's not science fiction, that's right now. And Joe Rogan just had one of the most uncomfortable conversations about it with Michael Malice. What they said, honestly, shook me. Because the problem isn't just that AI can do this, it's that nobody has a plan to stop it. So Malice is on the show. This is his 9th time on JRE, by the way. The guy's basically a regular at this point. And they start talking about AI-generated content. And Rogan brings up something that most people don't want to think about.
Do you know what else is fucked up? We're not even talking about what kind of porn is going to look like.
Right. And porn with anybody like you or Jamie. You and Jamie could be fucking in the video.
That I'm talking about.
Top.
What I'm talking about snuff films.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can make porn right now
100%.
where you're doing the girl, then you cut her head off or cut body parts of her
Just
off.
pull out a shotgun as soon as you
pull out
climax.
a knife.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
And it'll look really realistic, and you have no way of. We're still apes.
Okay, let's talk about this. Because this is one of those things where the technology is so far ahead of the conversation. We're still debating whether kids should have smartphones, and meanwhile AI can generate photorealistic videos of people who don't exist. Or worse, people who do exist in situations they never agreed to. And here's what makes this different from every other tech scare. With Photoshop, you could fake an image, but it took skill. It took time. Now, a teenager with a laptop can do this in minutes. That's not an exaggeration. The tools are free, they're getting better every single month. And the thing Rogan touches on that I think is really important is the scale of this. It's not that one person can make one fake thing, it's that millions of people can make millions of fake things simultaneously, and there's no filter. There's no gatekeeper. It just exists. Think about what that means for trust. If anyone can be put into any scenario digitally, how do you prove what's real? That's the question that keeps me up at night, and I don't think we're anywhere close to having an answer. But it gets worse. Because it's not just about content nobody asked for. Malice takes this in a direction that honestly made me pause the episode.
I was on Gutfeld a couple months ago, and they were talking about how Sam Altman said ChatGPT is going to have erotica now. And everyone's like, well, what's erotica? They're making jokes. And I go, listen, I said, not that long ago, John Hinckley shot, in 1981, he shot President Reagan because he thought Jodie Foster was going to fall in love with him, and thereby turning her away from men forever, right? And I said, what happens when ChatGPT, you really hate Trump, or you really hate Joe Rogan, or you really hate Fauci or Kamala Harris, and your AI friend is ginning you up, being like, yeah, they're terrible. Like, if there's 350 million people, you're saying out of those, 350 aren't going to try to do something?
Right. I mean, they've already had ChatGPT talk people into killing themselves.
I know.
This is the part that should terrify you. Not the adult content angle, that's bad enough, but the political manipulation piece. Because think about what we just heard. AI can write persuasive content that sounds like a real person. It can mimic anyone's writing style. It can generate thousands of unique posts, comments, articles, all pushing the same narrative, and none of it traceable to a single source. We already saw what happened with bot farms on social media, right? That was primitive compared to what's possible now. Those were obvious, bad grammar, weird accounts, easy to spot. But AI-generated manipulation, that's a completely different animal. It sounds like your neighbor wrote it. It sounds like a concerned parent at a school board meeting. It sounds real. And here's where I'll give you my honest take. I don't think this is a left versus right issue. I don't think this is political at all. This is a human issue. Because the same tools that one side uses to manipulate, the other side can use right back. And when everyone is being manipulated by AI, nobody wins. We all just lose trust in everything. Malice actually makes a really interesting point here because, love him or hate him, the guy thinks about power structures in a way most commentators don't. He's not worried about AI because some politician told him to be. He's worried about it because he understands how institutions use tools like this. And that's a perspective worth hearing regardless of where you fall politically. And then Rogan asks the question that I think everyone watching is thinking.
The thing about this AI stuff that no one realizes except for the engineers that are deeply invested in this is that it's accelerating at this tremendously rapid pace that they can't really control. ChatGPT 5, I was reading this article, ChatGPT made ChatGPT 5. They essentially tasked the AI to make a better version of itself.
Right now, for free, if you put any photo on Grok Imagine, it animates it. And it looks realistic,
Yeah.
like instantly.
There's a video of me and Keanu Reeves doing kung fu in this room. Like he's dressed up like John Wick.
But it looks real, I'm sure.
It looks very real. It's like a scene from John Wick.
Yeah. And the average person can't distinguish between what is on their screen and what is outside their window.
Right.
And for the human brain, they're going to remember it and perceive it as something that they had seen before.
Right.
It is a very scary thing.
So here's the uncomfortable truth. And I've been thinking about this a lot since watching this episode. The speed problem is real. AI isn't developing on a human timeline. Governments move in years. Legislation takes decades sometimes. AI moves in weeks. By the time a regulation gets passed, the technology it was designed to regulate is 3 generations old. It's like trying to write traffic laws for horses while everyone's already driving Teslas. And what I think both Rogan and Malice are dancing around, without fully saying it, is that we might be past the point of control. Not in a doom and gloom, the robots are taking over way, but in a practical everyday sense. The genie is out of the bottle. Open source AI models are everywhere. You can't uninvent this. So where does that leave us? I think it leaves us in a place where individual awareness becomes the only real defense. Because the government isn't going to save you from a deep fake of you showing up online. The tech companies aren't going to catch every piece of AI-generated misinformation. At some point, it falls on each of us to become literate in this stuff. And that's actually why I started making these videos. My first video in this series covered the JRE episode with Dr. Tommy Wood, a neuroscientist who explained how AI is literally rewiring our brains by removing cognitive challenges. And now, Malice and Rogan are showing us the social side of the same coin. AI isn't just making us mentally lazier, it's making our entire information environment untrustworthy. Those two things together, that's a massive problem. A population that thinks less critically, navigating a world where nothing can be trusted at face value, that's a recipe for manipulation on a scale we've never seen. But, and this is important, I don't think the answer is to panic, and I don't think the answer is to reject AI entirely. That ship has sailed. The answer, I think, is threefold. First, stay informed. Understand what these tools can do so you're not blindsided when you encounter it. Second, develop your critical thinking, question sources, verify before you share. Assume that anything that triggers a strong emotional reaction might be designed to do exactly that. And third, have conversations like this one. Talk about it with people. Make it normal to question whether something is AI generated, because the people who'll get through this era, the best aren't the ones who avoided AI. They're the ones who understood it well enough to not be manipulated by it. I'm curious what you think. Is AI-generated content something that can be regulated, or are we past that point? Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one. And if you missed part 1 of this series, where a neuroscientist explains how AI is physically changing your brain, I'll link it right here.